Lady Lily back with another video, and this is the review of Insecure season 3 episode 4. I do apologize for this coming out so late. Happy Labor Day as well. Hopefully you all got to spend some time with family, got to barbecue. What happened yesterday? Barbecues, events, tired. Yeah, we didn't get to review it. So we're reviewing it now on this day off. So let's get going. So this whole, if I can go ahead and just, if I had to sum up this episode, it's really about Issa, stepping out and trying things new. Really letting go. This had been through the flux this weekend. It's really about Issa letting go of her past and embracing her future. So that's the gist of this whole little episode. So let's get going. So episode 4, Fresh Light. So the shows open up with Issa doing her Mirror Bitch rap. And she was really getting into it. There's a knock at the door. It is Daniel. Daniel is bringing the rest of Issa's stuff. And pretty much it's parting ways. Molly came over to visit to bring Issa gifts, as well as help Issa unpack and get settled into her new place. Molly is just suggesting that Issa throw out a lot of her old things, like, for example, the mixtapes, CDs that the mixed CDs that Lawrence made, some of her Zane books. So she was saying, she just need to let her past go in order for her to embrace the future. There is a knock at the door, and we get to meet the ghetto fabulous neighbor tenant Trina. Trina is complaining about the squirrels making babies in the walls, and she wants to know what is Issa gonna do about that. The start of madness. Molly is at work trying to figure out things and find her way. She was at the table in a meeting, and she was trying to really stay back, not to overshadow, and just try to slide in when it was correct. So she is struggling so thus far at this black farm. Frida lets Issa know. Meanwhile, Issa's at work at We Got Y'all. So Frida comes and let Issa knows that that she's been approved to go back into the field, and they will talk about her next assignment. While on lunch, Issa runs into, was it Nathaniel? Or was it Nathan? Nathan. And he calls her to drop her tacos. She agreed to take him around the neighborhood to show him a couple of areas, show him, some spots while she's on her lunch break. Molly has decided to go back to counseling. And the problem is, the counselor said Molly's problem is she wants to walk in being the star. And she's at a point where, starting over is hard. And it really is. And like I said, when you've been somewhere for so long and you got your transactions, and not transactions, but when you've been somewhere so long and you got a routine and you're like the man or the woman, or, you the big head honcho and everybody knows you and adores you, it is a transition to move on to a new job where people don't know you. They are working on trusting you, and everybody's watching to see what you're going to do. So the counselor said maybe Molly needs to stop focusing on being the star and focus on how she can be helpful to her new team. Molly then mentions Dro, and the counselor said, who is Dro? So Molly messes up by mentioning Dro, because remember, Molly has not told the counselor anything about Dro within the last season. Moving right on. Meanwhile, Issa is still on this fantastic voyage, walking around town with Nathaniel and he asked her about her previous relationships. Issa was supposed to go back to work because her and Frida was going to discuss her next move since she was, back promoted again. But Issa decided to take the rest of the day off and continue to explore her neighborhood and the scene with Lift Bay, as they call him. So Issa came across her old house. She came up to her old house. Her parents divorced and they ended up selling it. Issa had dared Nathaniel, I don't know if it's Nathaniel or Nate, y'all help me out, to jump. She dared him to jump into the pool naked, and without even any fight, he agreed. He encouraged Issa to do the same and to jump in the pool, and she agreed, and the water was freezing cold. So Issa's really like mesmerized about how he just, Nathan, Nathaniel, whoever, just up and came and left, his hometown of Houston, coming to LA, really having no plans and just stepping out on faith and seeing what happens. So she's a little mesmerized about this. They're talking, enjoying a moment, taking it in for what it's worth, until the owners of the home spot them and say to call the cops. Molly offers to help her colleagues on a course, and that infamous, aka coffee mug, is back. Remember it from season 1? You saw it a couple of times on her desk. Well, now she's holding the darn cup in her hand in season 3. Issa and Nathaniel goes back to get their food, which is kind of at this point lukewarm. So Issa offers him to come to her place. So they're eating, they're hanging out, they're talking, all of a sudden they get to kissing. But thankfully, there is a knock on the door. And this is good because I didn't want Issa to have sex with old boy because it's too soon. You just ran back into him. I know, some people into the one night stand thing, but you don't have to. Sometimes waiting is good. But anyway, there was a knock at the door, and it's Trina's son. And he said that they are locked out their house, and he believes that Issa changed the locks. Issa said she didn't change the locks. Then the nosy ghetto kid says, "What are y'all doing? Eating tacos and kissing? Little boy, get back to where you belong. You too grown." So Issa slams the door in his face, and then Nathan decides that their voyage is over for the day. And he said he'll look forward to seeing her next time, and that's pretty much it. So Nathan leaves. As Nathan leaves, the kid is still at the door, and he said, "My mama told me to stay here until the door opened back up." Molly is at work, and the ladies want to meet up to discuss a current case that Molly has agreed to help them on. However, the meeting time is not going to work for Molly, and I guess they said, "Oh, you just, too busy for us." It's a new day, and Issa has a new perspective. She woke up, feeling different, made sure she dressed well, and she decided to throw out most of that stuff that Molly told her to throw out. She's at work, she's looking around, seeing all her colleagues, same old, same old. And then here comes Frida coming to talk to Issa about assignment. She said, I found a school, we think you'll be great. And Issa decides to quit. She's saying she needs something new in her life, and she's pretty much over We Got Y'all. So the episode ends with Issa walking out and saying goodbye to We Got Y'all. Now, I belong to an insecure discussion group on Facebook, and then some people was like, good for Issa, her time is up. And I agree, her time was up when we got y'all. She been there 5 years, she didn't get that promotion. Joanne was quick to, throw her to, demote her, and not listen to some of the suggestions that Issa was offering to Avance. So, I'm all for progression, and I agree with her leaving. My problem was leaving and not having a job in place. Well, people say, well, oh, Lisa, they got the, she got the apartment, apartment manager position, and somebody on the thread said, yeah, but that's part-time. And I said, well, maybe she'll supplement with the Lyft. And then somebody said, yeah, I hope, that she can make enough money with Lyft to, supplement the project, the property manager until she gets some. But I told everybody I thought it would have been a bomb boss move had she left out having another great position. Because I think, I'm a firm believer on leaving gracefully, because you just never know. As somebody told me, and I have worked as a graduate assistant, in the practicum assistant in career services, you always want to leave a job gracefully. You just never know. And I have seen people that left a job and some time went by and they came back to that same company. We have had a couple people that left the university where I work at, and because they left gracefully and they were still loved and well respected, some of them came back around and took on new roles within the university. So, because they had a great reputation and they left gracefully, when it was time for them to come back at another level, they were granted a job. So that was the only thing. I kind of wish that Issa, would have had that job at that Beat Moves or Move Beats. I kind of wish she would have had, had a position there. But maybe that's forthcoming. Another thing, a lot of people saying they're not feeling this season. I think it's fine. I think it just represents a transition in Issa's life. I think it reflects, trying out new things and having new experience. Because a lot of people say, well, I think the season is borrowing out Lawrence. We over Daniel. And I said, Issa made a point in her interview. She said, when you break up with somebody, you're not constantly trying to be around them. You're, trying to move on. So I get it. Like I said, I think what it is, I think this season is just dragging a little bit. I think from 1 and 2, it was just constantly moves and shock values and everything taking place. But I think this season is a little more about maturity and transitioning and, growing up. So I think that's, what this season is about. But that is it. That is all. Sorry for being late. Like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos. Peace out.